So, I remember hearing about that one story of James Franco and how something about him giving opportunities to young women or something because they're impressionable. I forget how the title went because this was like 3 days ago. But I remember that what stood out about it to me was that it was going over women who are young and impressionable. I got to thinking about myself. For someone who doesn't go out a lot, I have seen a lot of things, read about a lot of things, chatted with people who are like veterans of life. If I were approached by a man who I know is famous, whether he has a shady history or not, if he is trying to offer me an opportunity to be this great talent that is worshipped and admired by people, and it makes me famous and rich and all of those things, you need more than that. All that I can tell you is that I was raised with different values, I guess, and that's why it's not easy to seduce me into that world. So I don't want to sit here and make it sound like these people are not victims. I guess they're victims of their culture and the values of their families. Maybe when they're young, they get bombarded with these images of what an ideal, happy life is like, and they did not take the time to explore by themselves what those things are for them to come up individually with those answers. Whereas I have been alone since I was a kid. I was a kid and a teen, and even in my young adult years, I was by myself. So maybe that social deprivation is what helped me look at the world from a more independent scope as opposed to other people's ideals and philosophies influencing me. I just cannot imagine myself falling victim to something like that because I know what my values are. I know what I'm looking for in life. I know what I need to feel fulfilled in life. So when I hear cases of people who fall victims to like promises that someone in a better position made them, why did that happen to you? Like, how could you not tell that there's more to it than that? Like, there's a catch to everything. Why are people so naive these days? I guess is my question. I am naive about a lot of things myself. When it comes to falling victim to someone offering me like this wonderful life based on my talents, I question the crap out of it. And if you guys remember the story of that one guy who I consider the worst person I have ever met, he was doing stuff like that too. He was telling me, oh, I am very interested in having a relationship with you. I am very serious. I've never had any kids or any serious relationships because I was waiting to meet someone like you. You're the one that I want. And you know, this guy is like significantly older than me, and you're telling me that you've never been able to establish a relationship. I'll tell you why. It's because that's not what was important for you. What was important for you is the good time associated with having a girl giving you company. But you are not a person who is about to settle down, especially with me. And I can see through that. That guy, because I got to know him and I was unbiased about it, and I knew that he had this background of like, I can give you a good life and whatnot. Don't give me a good life. Help me work up to having my own good life so that we can join your good life with my good life and we share a good life, as opposed to my good life is dependent on you supplying those resources. That's what makes me different. I don't just take things. I want to work my way up to a certain status. Even if it were to cost me my life, I would rather do it that way and be happy and peaceful than just accepting something because I'm impressionable and then stuff ends up being wrong and then I want to play the victim card. You're not a victim. You have to become responsible about your thoughts at some point. And the younger that happens, the better. So I wonder why it is that young people fall victims to this so much. What are we not telling them? Or is it a matter of young people these days, that's what they want? They just want to suffer. They just want to make bad decisions like that. How can you not identify what a good decision is from a bad decision? How can you not distinguish what an ill-intended person is, a person with good intentions is? Like, why don't you believe your freaking gut feeling? For all of those instances that I have met people like that, my gut got so tight I could hardly breathe. I'm sure that happens to you if you train your senses well enough. I'm not perfect at it. Maybe one day I'll make a mistake because I happen to find myself attracted to someone, but you're gonna have a certain degree of responsibility. I don't think it's limited to age. Sure, young people, especially kids, they need protection, but like, at what point is it your responsibility to know something? I think if you're like in your teens, you definitely need to be able to make some good decisions. You don't need to get it all right. You don't need to have your whole life sorted. Like, that's insane. But there's just some stuff that, how are you so naive? I just cannot imagine being that way. But anyways, you guys, I thought I would share those thoughts. That's how I was raised, and maybe that helps you make sense of the situation. Hopefully, you know what I mean to say. You can see what I'm trying to say. I don't want to be sitting here making it sound like it's always the victim's fault, like the victim had it coming for them. Nothing like that. I'm just trying to study the circumstances of the victim to see how we can prevent that from happening to someone else. What is the cause, and what does it take to keep it from happening again? Anyways, you guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on this one, and I'll see you soon.